PhD. So
I don't sit still. Hey everybody, I'm Kat with Ohio Western Reserve Ladies. I'm super excited to kick off this series that we're going to do with our veteran-owned business owners, and we are going to kick off with Brian Krusz from Sgt Clean Car Wash. Brian, thank you so much for joining us. And I actually did not tell you off air, but I had, when we put our request out through our extensive network, I had 4 people send me an email and tell me how amazing you are. Make sure that I told you that they referred you and that you are such a great guy. So not only did we just figure out we went to high school together, but other people just think that you're an amazing human and really great for the veteran community. So thank you so much for taking some time and kicking off the series for us.
awesome. Was that my wife with 3 different names?
You know what? If I told you how much she paid me, then it wouldn't work that way. So I'll have to tell you off air.
Oh, I love it. Well, yeah. Well, thanks. Thank you, whoever, nominated me. Happy to be here.
Well, I just think that there are certain people out there that do things in a pay it forward manner, and it comes back to them tenfold. And clearly, you're one of those people. So let's start with give me the 20-second overview of you and what your business is, so that we can tell everybody that's tuning in today a little bit about you.
Yeah. Well, my name's Brian Krusz. After graduating from Elyria Catholic, I'd spent 8 years in the Marine Corps. I was an aviation ordnanceman, so my mom was always impressed that I was a bomb builder in the Marines. Transitioned out, was a recruiter for 3 years. And then even after that, in March of 2013, started Sgt Clean Car Wash. We now have 16 locations throughout Northeast Ohio, and we're remodeling and building a 17th as we speak.
Wow. Congratulations. Well, first and foremost, thank you for your service. That's just absolutely amazing. And our Marine Corps members are always first to tell me, hey, we need some more Marine Corps people around here. So I think you're checking that box for me. So I appreciate that. What does being a veteran-owned business, let's start personally. What does it mean to you? Tell me a little bit about that.
So one, I think it's a sense of accomplishment. Just like being in the Marines, stepping, on those yellow footprints and then going to graduation and, when they're putting the Eagle Globe and Anchor in your palm going, yeah, I did it. So one, I think it's a sense of accomplishment. And then transitioning, being in the military, whether it's 4 years, 20 years, 30, 40 years, transitioning to civilian life it could be tough, could be challenging. So that's why I immediately go to kind of a sense of accomplishment. But then also it's a sense of community. You mentioned it earlier, giving back to the community. And that started in high school when I said, yeah, I'm going to join the Marines and go off and, kind of pay my community rent, as my grandfather used to say. And
I love that.
Yeah. So growing up, he was an entrepreneur. He was a fireman in Elyria of 22 years. And being a dumb, naive 12, 14, 15-year-old kid, he would often ask me, when have you paid your community rent? And I was like, whatever, just give me my paycheck, Grandpa. And it dawned on me in high school that what he meant was giving back to the community, as not only, a member of the community, but a business member of the community. We kind of take, meaning provide our business, come use the car wash, use this. From day one, 11 years ago, we said, we're going to pay our community rent and give back in any form or fashion that we can. Not just in the veteran community, but every community in which we serve.
You do, I think it's amazing. And for those who weren't obviously tuned into our before conversation, we didn't realize that we'd gone to the same high school. And there are so many commonalities to businesses that give forward to this, right? Like, I think that when I noticed you guys do a ton with Neopat, which obviously we do a ton with Neopat, and I see you active in the community. I drive by like 4 of your car washes and just doing my daily stuff, right? And it's amazing when you see an organization who is openly doing things in the community. I think it's clear when you're there, and then for those who aren't doing it, it's clear when they're not there too. So I give you a ton of kudos to that, because that's a big deal. All right, so Wreaths Across America is kind of why we're meeting here today. And I think for people who have had an opportunity to really be on a national cemetery and see it when it's blanketed with wreaths, or it's been done up with flags for Memorial Day, it's kind of it's a moving experience, right? Like to see a national cemetery. And ironically, a lot of People don't know we're super fortunate to even have a national cemetery within driving distance here when we've got one in Seville. Um, it's kind of scary when you realize that our national cemetery doesn't always get completely blanketed. And that's part of what we stand for, right? With the No Veteran Left Behind. When you step onto a national cemetery being a veteran, what is that feeling when you realize, wow, people blanketed a cemetery with wreaths, or maybe it hasn't been blanketed completely? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think it's just, I guess going back to paying your community rent is just paying respects to these men and women who have, paid the ultimate sacrifice. And I think we live in America, right? One of the greatest nation in the world, where we've got opportunity to be an entrepreneur, opportunity to go to high school and college and just better ourselves. And what a better way to pay tribute and honor to the men and women who's given us those freedoms, those luxuries, and everything that we may take for granted now. And, when I always think of a cemetery, one, it's paying tribute to those who've paid the ultimate sacrifice. But two, I think of Pat Tillman. Here's a guy who had everything, right? People wake their whole dang life, their whole every day of every life trying to be an NFL player. And he had all of that. He had the money, he had the fame, he had, the talent, and he gave that all up to go serve his country. Unfortunately, he paid the ultimate sacrifice, but I just think of, this is what America is. This is what really we are. And you may not have served, you may not have had the capability to serve, but I think it's a great opportunity to visit in Seville or go to Arlington or, wherever you can, to really pay tribute. And it just takes some time out of your day, because if you think about it, these men and women took years out of their lives, to support and help us defend what we have today. And, I often think too of like the national anthem, right? It's like 3 minutes long or 3.5 minutes. Like, that's a great opportunity to just think about, pay respect, say a prayer for, men and women that are serving, that have served, or maybe in a specific situation, that every time you hear that at a sporting event, it's just clicked in. And maybe that's a reminder to help out a fellow veteran neighbor, visit a cemetery, or, help with the Wreaths Project.
I was going to ask you about when you see young people at a national cemetery, like during Wreaths Across America, because we do so much work to get our young people there, right? Get the next generation there. The Wreaths Across America mission is to teach and to allow that mission to really kind of get ingrained in young people. We've got tons of Boy Scouts, we've got tons of schools there and things like that. But, I think maybe you just touched on it when you said your grandfather said it's to pay rent, right? I think that's, to me, I know that there's a lot of people who mention it when we're there on the grounds, but to see that many young people there learning about what a national cemetery is and learning about all of the little tiny things that go into a national cemetery, it's really moving in its own right.
Yeah. And I think, I often think of an opportunity to be a mile wide and 1 inch deep. Well, at Sgt Clean, we want to be a mile deep and 1 inch wide. And that's kind of on two fronts. One, helping the veteran community. And then two, we believe strongly in youth leadership, right? Exactly what you talked about. So the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, schools, and we're constantly helping, whether it's mentorship or a school supply drive, because those are our future leaders of the world. And I think we get an opportunity, being that our name is Sgt Clean Car Wash. So every new location we open, we have a flag raising ceremony. We invite, VFW, AMVETs, local veterans, and then Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts to come help be involved in that. So we're kind of tying that all in, being little leaders inside themselves, but then also tying it into the flag, America, serving your community rent. And I think I try to do that. I'm a hockey coach. We talked about playing hockey. I played since I was, 4 or 5 years old. And now I get to coach my 8 and 11-year-old, and then their friends and people within the Strongsville community. And I think of, I've got an opportunity to be an influence on them, because they know I serve, they know I'm a business owner, and whether they're 5 or 6 years old, or some of the older guys that I coach that are 12 years old, same thing, being a good positive influence, and then providing resources and tools. If they start asking, like, hey, what did you do in the Marine Corps? What were you doing? And what does it mean to be a Marine? And, being encouraging as opposed to, some other ways.
Yeah. I'm just going to reiterate, I'm sure people say it to you, and if they don't say it enough, then I will say it to you. You are very clearly making an impression in your community, and how stellar. I mean, that's just fantastic. I think that there's plenty of people who need someone to be able to look at, and you're very clearly doing it, both volunteering and both in your professional and your personal life. So there's a reason why I got all of those emails. Maybe it was your wife, I don't know, saying, "Hey, by the way, you're a stand-up guy." So wow, congratulations. I don't maybe wandering past you in those halls in high school was a real thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanna give everybody an opportunity to know how to find your business if they aren't like me and they don't drive by 4 of them every day. So give everybody kind of the rundown if they are a veteran and how to best find a Sgt Clean Car Wash.
Yeah, so we've got 16 locations throughout Northeast Ohio. You can visit our website at sgtclean.com. So Sgt Clean, the abbreviation for sgtclean.com. Click on the locations tab. You can see all of them there, and then there'll be a Google map for you to get there. And then we also offer 10% off our monthly unlimited program to all veterans. I often say you don't need to bring anything or provide anything, just bring integrity, and then show up, and we'll put a sticker in your vehicle, and you can get 10% off. But before I go, I definitely have to say that, I'm one representative of 200 team members at our company. So those are the ones that do it day in and day out. I can't man every pay station. I can't be at every car wash. Even all the community events that we do, we just did one in Medina for, a food drive, help provide food for local community. And we talked about my wife earlier. She's also helpful. She's the PTA president. She helps at our local church. So it's just, it's a big family, and we all have to do our little part, and all these little inches add up to big things. So same thing here, right? All the little donations add up to a bigger opportunity to provide and pay respects to our men and women at these cemeteries.
Well, we greatly appreciate you. And again, thank you for your service. For those of you who are wanting to volunteer for our Wreaths Across America Day, it is on December 14th. So come out and see us. If you'd like to donate to the Wreaths Across America effort, then I'm going to have you go to our website. There have been a ton of changes that have happened this year with Ohio Western Reserve Ladies taking over. So ohiowesternreserveladies.org/wreaths will get you to ordering your grave specific wreath or making a donation in general. Go check it out. Follow us here on Facebook, on LinkedIn, all the things, but please go get your car washed, because I think Brian and his team would really appreciate it if you showed up to Wreaths Across America Day with a clean car. But don't all go on December 14th. It would probably cause an issue in Medina. So Brian, thank you so much. Again, thank you for your service and your time. And I look forward to seeing all of you soon.
Yeah, and hey, Kat, I want to kick off the donation. We're gonna personally donate $500 to get the Wreaths Across America kicked off. So please help, please donate. We're gonna start with $500.
Brian, we were not expecting this.
I know.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate that. And we will, if we have another matching donor in the next few days, then we'll make sure we get that as well. So if you're a corporate donor and you want to match Brian, we'd appreciate that as well. All right. Thanks, Brian. We really appreciate you. And it was good to catch up with you.
Likewise. Thank you.